Hello guys, how are you guys doing?
Hi guys, I'm sweating.
My name is Calvin, Kev for short.
I'm Anuziva, Zee for short. And we are Zee and Kev.
Oh yeah.
Zita Ramadan Renotanga. Zita Ramadan Renotanga.
Anyway. So glad that you're joining us and that you're part of our lives.
Yes,
Excited.
so we're so glad that you guys decided to visit our channel today. And if this is your first time visiting this channel, did I just have a block?
Yes. Please press the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you can be notified next time we shoot our videos. Most likely we'll be dropping every week from now onwards. So
okay, so on this channel we focus on love, relationships. Yeah, we've added relationships there. We focus on love, relationships, photography, and travel.
We didn't agree to that relationship, but hey, madam says
love
it.
plus relationships, guys.
Oh yeah, love plus relationships. No, not the juicy, not the tea. No, we don't spill tea on this on this channel.
Guys,
it's not tea channel.
So we are a couple from Zimbabwe who are currently living in Burkina Faso. We've been in Burkina Faso for the past 3 months.
3 months.
Yes. And we are working and traveling and meeting new people in our new home.
So we have been exploring the city of Ouagadougou, which is the capital, and right now there's no lockdown in place, so people are free to move, and so we've been. I think we've been privileged to move around and explore the city from different angles. Yeah.
But guys, if you are in countries where the number of COVID cases is gone up or is up and there are restrictions, I hope you guys are keeping safe always. Your masks are on, you're sanitizing, washing your hands, and avoiding unnecessary troubles.
Voila. So today
we are sharing some of the trips that we took during the holiday, that is Christmas and New Year's.
Yep.
Around
Ouagadougou.
Yes. So our first trip for Christmas, it was Christmas Day. It was a Christmas lunch. We were invited for a Christmas lunch by a couple who's become good friends of us. Shout out to Mary.
You're the plug. You are the
shout
plug.
out to Mary Posselman. She's the absolute plug. So we went to a chateau just outside of Ouagadougou.
In Lumbila.
Yes.
I hope we pronounce it well. If we didn't, please don't butcher us.
In Lumbila. This place is such a beauty, guys. You don't know. It's such a beautiful place.
It's a castle.
And it feels like you've entered into like a bygone era.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's like a bygone era.
Okay.
Not bygone, but bygone era.
I thought for me, okay, as an individual, you know me, I love architecture and design and stuff like that. So for me, the design was the first thing that just got me. How they used local bricks and local mud and cement and to build the structure. It's being built. They keep developing it over and over. They keep adding to the fort, to the castle and to the chateau. Is there a difference between a castle and a chateau, by the way? If you know, maybe.
I don't know. A chateau is French. A castle is English.
I don't know if you know.
And for me, that's the difference, guys. Don't difference.
You are being black.
Don't difference. Chateau is French. Castle is England.
So we'll put the description we'll put the link to the chateau into the description box. Apparently you can visit anytime you want, but they don't serve food, but you'll get a glass of wine and some cheese that you can get.
Yes.
But you can pre-order, you can pre-book with the chateau.
Pre-book,
and you can have a
events.
meal, like what Mary did, and we had a very beautiful lunch, 4-course lunch. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah, I just had to say it.
You just had to say that it was a 4-course. Guys, again, go taura zvangu nechishona, guys. No, mira, because ininchi, ndakurira Mufombi, anditi Mufombi, guys, south of Samora.
She grew up in Mfakosi, south of Samora, right?
You have to translate?
Yes.
Okay, ndakurira Mufombi, south of Samora, guys. Chinonzi seafood ka.
So I don't know what seafood looks like.
But
when I started traveling with planes and stuff.
Stop it. So I've been traveling for a couple of years, I think since 2018. Come stop. I started traveling in 2013. And I've gone to places where seafood is the ish, but I have always refused to try out any seafood.
Until I came into the picture.
And then Calvin and Mary and them, they decided, and shout out to Janine. Yes, they decided to force me to try seafood.
And how?
Because the whole meal, guys, the whole meal is a bit tasty.
La prise en charge.
Stuff like that. Those were not.
That was the main meal. It was
just the main
guys,
course. It was the main
50,000 francs, guys. Kuti ndirege kutry seafood. Ndakati mari yangu yaende mahara. So
I'm not going to translate that.
I ended mahara, so ndakabva ndatry. Ndakabva ndichitry prawn. Ndakachitry, guys. Ndakachitry. It was not bad.
Anyway, the reason why we talk about a seafood experience, but to talk about
it was my seafood. It's about experiences. That was my experience. Why are you shutting down my experience, guys?
Prawns.
Yes.
Hardly.
It's my story. Why are you shutting down my story? I'm today okay with it. Our first made couple fight.
Alright, let's move on. I'm not willing to bite today. My experience in the chateau was interesting because I love architecture and design. So for me, seeing the chateau from the outside was fantastic, but getting to walk inside, getting to experience some of the nooks and things that are in there. There's a little chapel with a little skeleton in it. I will put
why is it like he's so excited to see skeletons? Can you imagine?
Skeletons in a chapel.
Guys.
Ghost stories. No.
So, shout out to the owner of the chateau.
I've forgotten his name.
We'll put down his name right here. Shout out to him because he was such a gracious host.
Fantastic host.
And giving us the history of the place and why he started it. Him and his business partner have been running the place for over a decade now. Yeah, and this is one of the most beautiful places in Ouagadougou. I think if you're visiting Ouagadougou at any time, this is definitely one of the places that you should visit. There's it's a river or lake.
Whatever.
Just,
in the summer.
On
the periphery of the chateau. On the periphery
so
you
can bring a boat so that you guys can do whatever. So it's really beautiful.
Sunset drinks, sunset coffee.
Exactly. So this is the perfect place to come have some drinks, have some cheese,
and unwind
and take in some royal.
So you can imagine what Christmas was like for me and her. It was also our first Christmas away from like our home.
We've done Christmas away from home, Calvin. Our last Christmas was in Mozambique.
Oh, okay, by the way. I'd forgotten. You see? You need a wife who can memorize these things.
Okay, guys, so that's enough of the chateau. We're moving on to
The Thomas Sankara Monument, Memorial Monument.
Yes, guys, so what is a visit to Burkina Faso Ouagadougou without
Thomas Sankara
immersing yourself in the history of this wonderful place? And when you do that, you can't talk about Burkina Faso's history without the great man himself, Thomas Sankara.
Burkina Faso means the land of the incorruptible man.
Yes.
Let that sink in, the land of the incorruptible man.
This was the vision that Thomas Sankara had. But just a history recap of Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara was the president of Burkina Faso at one point. He even came to Zimbabwe in 1980 during our independence. He is one of the most well-loved and most renowned African revolutionary leaders. He had a great vision for not only Burkina, but also for the continent itself. He was one of the first revolutionary leaders within the continent who had a specific focus and plan or action plan for women's development, especially within the agriculture.
The historian in my life.
Which, of course, then means I am a Thomas Sankara buff. So we definitely had to go and see where this great man lost his life.
And this man?
It's said that during a few years after he got into power, Thomas Sankara met with his death. He was assassinated, and that is where him and some of his bodyguards lost their lives.
I think this should be, if you are a history buff and you want to know more about Thomas Sankara, women's emancipation, and some of the things that he's done, I'll set up a Zoom call for you and my wife, and you get to enjoy history lessons 101, women emancipation, power to the people, revolutionary Thomas Sankara.
I don't think but guys, this place is really nice. So this place where Thomas Sankara and his plane fell, was he in a plane?
No, he was not in a plane.
No, he wasn't in a plane. He was shot down.
Shot down, yes.
Yes. They've just recently, I think maybe last year or last of last year, they've just built a monument around that place.
The exact same place.
They've secured it. So there is a statue there, and we had the opportunity to go up, take pictures, speak to the...
Courtesy of our plug.
Yes.
You know our plug now.
Sometimes I get to marry. And we had opportunities to buy some small stuff, buy the little stores that are by the side of the monument, and a shout out to the Rastas.
If you just say to the Rastas, the South Africans and the Zimbabweans, they would definitely know us.
And
yes, now they will.
It was surreal, I think, for me, because I'm a history buff, and I love the history of Africa, particularly. I've always had an interest in Burkina Faso because of Sankara, so it was good for me to go there and see. And lastly, guys, we got the opportunity to visit a brewery run by Stefan, who is an MWF fellow. Calvin and myself are MWF fellows. Calvin is 2015.
Ancient of days.
And I am a 2018 fellow.
I'm an Obama baby, she's a baby. It's a joke amongst us. Don't kill us.
Guys, I refuse the trouble.
It's a joke.
But anyway, shout out to all the MWF fellows. That's the Mandela Washington fellows across the continent, particularly in Burkina Faso and in Zimbabwe,
where we come from. So Stefan brews beer, locally made beer, in his workshop.
He brews craft beer, guys. There's a difference.
There's a difference between craft beer and local beer. But anyway, we're not beer drinkers that much. So Stefan's role. So Stefan's art is to preserve the art of making beer for the local people. He believes
he wants to preserve the traditional art of making
beer. and so he makes different types of beer. Lago. There is one with bisap. I love bisap. There's one with ginger. Different flavors and use sorghum.
He's always experimenting. So he runs a brewery.
But why? Okay,
brewery.
Why are we trying to explain when he can explain it himself?
No, yeah, we're just giving
context.
Yeah. Yes, he runs a brewery.
Anyway,
he runs a brewery in a place called Semandin,
which is 5 minutes away from the airport,
and which is just a walking distance from other tourist places that you could probably go and visit when you visit his brewery. So near his brewery there is the palace where the king of the Mosi tribe stays, which is like a very huge palace.
If you have a plug to connect us to visit the king, please hook us up. Hook us up.
Me zero in La Yarara. But yes, and then near that area again there is a national football stadium. This is where some of the Zimbabwe versus Burkina Faso games have been played.
So we had an opportunity to sit down with Stefan to take photos, but also to talk about his love and his art of making beer and turning beer making into a business that he is serving a community. And you can, let's hear from him, and also let's get to see what the brewery looks like in Semandin, Burkina Faso.
Dolo.
Dolo.
One other thing, guys, like the name for beer, the name for the traditional beer in Burkina Faso is Dolo, and funny enough, that's the name for the Shona name for beer, which is Dolo.
So Dolo?
So we are one, guys. We are one.
Africa is just...
We are at Maison Du Dolo. Is that how we pronounce it?
La Maison Du Dolo. I'm Stéphane Bougouma from La Maison Du Dolo. If you don't want, it's the Dolo house.
Yes.
It's a place that we are brewing. Dolo is the local beer from sorghum, from red sorghum in Burkina Faso. It is really popular. And we are also making some European style sorghum beer. We have Lago, Liga, and so many beers. But all our products are around the sorghum.
Okay. So we had the opportunity to go around the brewery itself and see how, like, from the process from when you start up to the finish, the finish of, like, when you put the alcohol into wherever it's saved. I just wanted to find a focus. For me, I think what was extraordinary was the fact that you're doing it in this place. Because remember, I asked you, I was like, where do I find the beer? Is it in the main shops? And then you're like, no, people love it here, so I'm here. So what was the reasoning behind you wanting it to be a business around the people that you identify with?
I think it was not our goal in the first step, because we made a brewery. We tried to sell it with some resellers, but I think we failed. And in 2008, I was in the States for the yearly, and I discovered all the craft beer in Austin, where people were brewing and selling the craft beer in the shops. At this period, they were fighting to have the right to make the people taking the beer away, and I saw it was wonderful. So at this period, I had a brewery, but not yet the shop near here. So when I came, I just decided to open just a store in the brewery, and this works. So people now, they come, they have fun with the beer, so they can see us brewing it, and it's new, but people like it.
People like that.
They really like it because we are always out of stocks.
So on average, like an average week or like average month, how much, in terms of quantity, how much are you making?
We are selling around 2,000 and 3,000 liters per month of craft beers.
Wow.
Local beers and modern beers, all.
Okay, so for a person who doesn't really understand beers, what is craft beer?
Craft beer is beer who is not pasteurized. That means we preserve all the yeast, all the taste, without there's no treatment to make the beer last long. So the beer need to be kept fresh, and so we preserve the taste. We can experience different kind of beer because it's not. I can make beer like that. I imagine that. I mean, this morning I want to make beer with Bissap. I just try to make it so we can enjoy with the people how to make some experimental beers, some different beers, and really small series of beers. It's not the huge industries that we need to pasteurize to make it have the same taste every year. All the long every year you need to have the same taste. For us, every beer is different. So for our customers, there are always a good reason to come back to see us because they will taste a different beer.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So maybe my other question is you mentioned Yali, eh?
Yeah.
So guys, we know Stephanie through the Mandela Washington Fellowship because me and Calvin are part of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Me and Stephanie are 2018 fellows, and as you know, Calvin is 2015. I think maybe the question that I wanted to ask is related to the fellowship. Do you feel like the fellowship helped in any way to build the brand that you have now?
It's helped a lot because it was a way to see the world. Because you can't make something alone. What I discovered the most was different African talents.
Yes.
Different African way of life, different African people were fighting to change the continent. I was a bit disappointed that we need to go to America to discover each other. But okay, we discover ourselves. Okay, that's the matter. It's not a problem. We discover ourselves, and I'm so happy because I discovered people from all the continents, and now many people from Zimbabwe and around the continent, and I was really happy of that because it was an opportunity to make African young people, to know each other, to work together.
Okay.
I think that this was what was the most important thing I learned from the Mandela.
Okay. So 2 last questions.
Yes.
The first is, as a young person operating a business within Burkina Faso, what are some of the challenges that you see hinder young people, not just in your own business, but since you interact with a couple of young people that are in business, what are the major issues that are hindering young people getting into business or succeeding?
I think for the business from young people is every day is a challenge. Because it's a challenge for learning, because even with the internet, learning seems easy, but we need to perform more to have the information, the knowledge,
Yes.
and also the know-how. Because what is different is the know-how. How to make it. Maybe we can find how to make it theoretically, how to make it
like
practical.
the innovation you need
Maybe not the innovation. How to make the thing
that's already there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the know-how. For example, how to make a beer.
Yes.
It's known for centuries, but this is not free. You know how. You have the know-how, the knowledge, but how to make it in yourself is different.
Yes.
The second option is, I think the more difficult you have the money because for all the capital, for all the innovation we need money, and the money I think is the most difficult thing to have.
Yes.
And after sometimes you need to to having the support of your neighbors is difficult because sometimes your project is so new that people didn't understand. So every day is a challenge. And for all African people who succeed in business, I think it's really tough. But we have the opportunity because our continent is free.
Yes.
we have to make our continent brick by brick, step by step. So we have this opportunity to have a free continent, and if we fight, I think there's a place for everybody. Because I think Africa is the last frontier.
So last question, guys, because I know you guys are travelers, and some of you have indicated you want to travel to Burkina Faso, you want to come to Ouagadougou. What do you want to tell like the people that possibly are seeing this and want to come to the home of Dolo?
I think if you want to experiment Burkina drinks, alcohol drinks,
Yes.
this is definitely the place to go, because we have all the traditional drinks. We have the ram noodle. We are making drinks for other tribes in Burkina, from Dagari people, from Samo people, and other tribes. If you want to discover all the panel of alcohol drink in Burkina, this is definitely the place to be. And it's in the time. Just come to by the airport. In 5 minutes to the airport, you have all the beer you want, all the best beer you want in Burkina.
So you've heard it from the guy himself, the beer maker. Guys, when you visit Ouaga, just make sure that you come to the home of Dolo. I know that within a month I'll probably be knowing how to like pronounce the French name. But yeah, definitely come get a sip of the beer. I'll tell you, it's really wonderful.
We'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Next Thursday.